Here we are asked to solve for cosine and sine of theta, given that tangent of theta is equal to negative 2/3, and we know that the angle is between 0 and 180. So in this one, we're going to dub this the Emma Kelly method because Emma was nice enough to help show this one off to the class. So in this one here, we're going to first look at, okay, which quadrant does this have to be in? So I know that tangent is negative and that my angle has to be between 0 and 180 degrees. The trig function, the trig identity that we need to know is that tangent of theta is equal to sine of theta over cosine of theta. So what that means, I know that in this top right quadrant here, that sine and cosine are both positive. In the top left quadrant, I know that the cosine is going to be negative and the sine is going to be positive. So if I were to put in this trig function a positive sine and a positive cosine, well, that would give me a positive tangent. Whereas if I put in a negative cosine and a positive sine, a positive divided by a negative is a negative tangent. So since my tangent is negative, I know that my angle is going to land in that quadrant. So we know that we are going to be in quadrant 2, and we also know that using SOHCAHTOA, that tangent of theta is the opposite over the adjacent. So since I know that tangent equals negative 2/3, I know my opposite is 2, my adjacent is negative 3, and I need to figure out what my hypotenuse is. So to do that, I'm just going to use Pythagorean theorem. 2 squared plus a negative 3 squared equals c squared or x squared. 4 plus 9 equals x squared. So I get x equals the square root of 13. So now that I know that's the square root of 13, what I'm going to do is find sine and cosine. Sine of theta, I know with SOHCAHTOA is opposite over adjacent. My opposite value is opposite over hypotenuse. My hypotenuse is root 13. Multiply by root 13 over root 13 to give me my final answer here for my sine value. My cosine of theta is the adjacent, which is negative 3 over the hypotenuse, which is root 13. I got to multiply by this here to get rid of the square root in the denominator. So I get negative 3 root 13 over 13. And there are my two values. So sine of theta is equal to 2 root 13 over 13, and cosine of theta is negative 3 root 13 over 13. Thanks, Emma.